psychology, attachment theory, manifestation. Oh my. These are just some of the topics our guest, psychologist Melissa Baisi, will discuss today. Stay tuned. Hello, and happy Self-Care Sunday. I am your host, Kimberly, and today I have a very special guest, psychologist Melissa Baisi. She's going to talk about psychology, attachment theory, and manifestation. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for inviting your friends and guests, and thank you for subscribing here and on the website at manifestonpurpose.net. Without further ado, allow me to introduce our very special guest, Melissa Baisi. Hello, Melissa. It's so finally nice to meet you. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just great. Thank you for coming. You have a very unique approach to psychology, and not just psychology, but psychology's attachment theory. Can you unpack attachment theory and give us a glimpse inside of the work that you do surrounding the attachment theory?
Sure. So attachment theory is really how we attach to other people in relationships. So that might be romantic partners, friends, colleagues. It could be even how we attach to money and ourselves. And so typically our attachment style is created when we're young, and it's created by our parents or primary caregivers. And basically we have securely attached people, which is about 50% of the population, and insecurely attached people, which is about 50% of the population. Securely attached people don't have any subcategories, except for there might be a little bit of a scale of how securely attached they actually are. But with the insecurely attached people, there's subcategories. And so within the subcategories of insecure attachment style, there's anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and disorganized attachment. And disorganized attachment is really just a blend of anxious and avoidant. How am I doing so far? Is this getting too in the weeds for you?
No, this is perfect. This is perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so typically people come to see me with an insecure attachment style, and we find that anxious people and avoidant people usually pair up, and usually the person that comes for help is the person who is the anxious attachment style.
First, I want to ask you, what causes this insecure attachment in most people?
Yeah, so it's the way we connect with our primary caregiver. If our mother or primary caregiver was not very attuned to our needs, didn't show up for us when we have cried or were hungry or needed comfort and love, then we are going to develop an insecure attachment style. So it all relates back to how attuned mom was.
Since it goes back to the guardian, or as you spoke about just then, mom, does that mean that it's mom's fault if child is raised with an insecure attachment style?
Well, oftentimes the mom had also her own attachment issues based on how her mother was attuning to her needs. So really, attunement is a learned behavior. And so if mom doesn't know how to attune, is it really her fault? If she's never been taught how to attune, yes, she's the one who creates the insecure attachment style. But I struggle with blaming people because people often don't do these things out of a conscious awareness. It's basically how they were raised and what they've learned, and they're doing the very best they can with what they've got.
That's a great answer. And it's awesome to know, because I think a lot of people hold themselves responsible for what transpires in a child's life as they grows older. So that's a great thing to put out there. Don't blame, because you don't know what that parent or guardian has been through, and you don't know if they are insecurely attached as well. So how can you tell a insecure attached person?
So the way we see it show up in relationships, especially romance, well, really any kind of relationship, is that push-pull dynamic. So one person is kind of needy and chasing, and the other person is pulling away and withdrawing. I think we all kind of know that dynamic in various couples and maybe even in ourselves, right?
Yeah. And why is the anxious, insecure attachment more prominent than the rest of the attachment styles?
It's actually only a couple percentage points more prominent than avoidant. Anxious and avoidant are pretty equally balanced within that 50%. And then disorganized is that third one. That's just a small, like it's about 6%. So anxiously attached people, why they come and get help more often than not, is because they're the ones who are really in that overt pain of wishing they had more connection in relationship and not knowing how to get it. So they reach out for help.
Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. So what if someone's noticed that they are insecurely attached? What should they do?
So reaching out for help is a great start, and having somebody work with you on how you can become your own secure base, because that's really the antidote to attachment related issues, is becoming your own secure base. So becoming that place that is safe, that place that feels like home, really becoming your own best friend, and really like sinking into self-love and self-development. All of that really, really helps to heal an insecure attachment style.
Thank you so much for your in-depth definition or explanation of attachment theory. That was wonderful. It's so easy to understand. Now let's get to the juicy part.
Okay.
You may not know, but we share a commonality.
Okay. What's that?
Esther Hicks and
Ah.
Jerry Hicks. I feel that they, and the teachings of Abraham, I feel like they are at the foundation of what I have learned in the law of attraction. When I first started looking into the law of attraction, the first teacher that I really could get into was Abraham Hicks. What role does manifestation play in attachment theory? Or maybe let me ask, how does manifestation help, or how can it help in attachment theory?
Yeah, so healing from an insecure attachment style can be pretty difficult sometimes, because it requires you to get out of the 3D, stop focusing on the external world, and come into your internal world. And that's really the job of a manifester as well, is coming home to self and being able to create that inner world that you want to see in the external, create it inside, and then have it shine out on the outside. So typically, I take patients through the healing of their attachment style. And then once they are feeling more secure in their attachment style, then we move into manifesting whatever it is that they are looking to manifest. And usually it's a more secure relationship with someone else, themselves, money, things, that kind of thing, if that makes sense.
Sure, that makes sense. So are you saying that really some of the blockages that people are experiencing may be coming from an insecure attachment style?
Yes, exactly. And that I have a program, a course that works on just exactly that, is remove like healing your attachment style, regulating your nervous system, removing those blocks, those psychological blocks to manifesting, so that we can dive into the techniques of manifesting and really call in what the things that we've been trying to call in. You know, those sticky manifestations that are hard to get? That's from deeper psychological blocks that need to be removed.
So what would step one be?
Healing the attachment style and coming home to self, becoming your own secure base would definitely be step one. Learning how to regulate your nervous system. So that means learning how to come out of an anxious or depressed state and coming into a more calm, connected state. And being in that state is the receptive mode that Abraham talks about.
Yes, yes. How did you hear about Abraham and Esther and Jerry Hicks? Is this something that just popped up at the right time in the right place, or while you were studying? How did you start to interweave the two?
Yeah, so I just came across Abraham on YouTube, and I thought Abraham was a psychologist because what I was hearing was cognitive behavioral therapy. And, it took me a little while to figure out that Abraham was really a channeled group of entities, not a therapist. But by that time, I'd already been so, hooked that I didn't care how Abraham came about. It just made so much sense to me.
So are you telling us that the law of attraction is real? Manifestation is real?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It is very, very real. What we've got going on inside, our vibration is what determines what our external world is going to show us every single time. There's no exception to that rule.
What's the thing that brings you the most joy about your career? Because as I said, it's unique to combine the two, to combine manifestation and being a psychologist at the same time. What brings you most joy in this work?
Definitely watching my patients get their manifestation. That is, it's always so good because of like the bridge of events that brings the manifestation. It's always so juicy and so unexpected. Like, I love the healing stuff that we do in the beginning. That's that real psychological process that every psychologist goes through. It feels good to help somebody through that healing process. But that second phase of manifesting, when they set their sights on what they want and they call it in, and before they did their healing, it seemed so impossible, but after they do their healing, it just comes right in. So it's like it comes right into a person that you never would have thought it only a few months prior.
So what's next for Melissa?
Well, I am coming away from seeing just patients, and I am starting a coaching business where I'm able to work with people from everywhere in the world. And I've created a course that heals the attachment style, regulates the nervous system, and helps you manifest whatever it is that you're trying to manifest. So all of my focus right now is in my course and the clients in my course, and seeing them come through the process. Because this is a new process, because it's kind of written, it's videos, it's not how I used to work with patients. This is a new way of working with people, working with clients, not patients. So
it sounds like new beginnings, and I'm wishing you all the best. How can they find your course?
Yes, so just head over to attachmentrecovery.com and you just put your email in. You'll get a free guide on attachment trauma. And then you can book in a call with me and see if my course is the right fit for you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing words, any final words for someone that may be going through insecure attachments and people that are blocked in their manifestation and trying to break through?
The most important thing is coming home to self. The most important thing is your inner world. The most important thing is regulating that nervous system and coming into a state of calmness, connectedness. Self. Focus on self. Forget about the external world for a little bit, not forever, just for a little bit, until you get really centered and grounded in yourself, and then you can get whatever you want.
And that website one more time for us so they can find you.
Yeah, so it's attachmentrecovery.com.
Thank you so much, Melissa. It's been a pleasure having you here.
It was nice to chat.
Come back. You're more than welcome.
Yes, I would love to. That would be great.
The door open.
Okay, for sure.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye.